Eartha Mae Kitt was born on January 17, 1927, in North South Carolina, though for much of her early life even her birth date remained a mystery. Born out of wedlock to a young mixed-race woman and an unidentified white man, Eartha arrived in a time and place where her very existence was a source of pain. She was given away at a young age, shuttled between homes in the American South, sometimes treated with cruelty, often made to feel she didn't belong anywhere. As a child, Eartha endured beatings, ridicule, and alienation. Light-skinned and of uncertain parentage, she was outcast from both black and white communities. Her early years were a haze of hunger and survival. One of her earliest memories involved being thrown out of a household for crying too much. She grew up feeling unwanted and constantly reminded of her status as different. But that difference became her edge, her weapon. From those first painful chapters, Eartha forged a defiance that never left her. Her refuge came in sounds. Music, particularly the guttural cries of the blues and the dramatic phrasing of European opera, gave her a way to imagine another world. At age 8, she was sent to live with an aunt in Harlem, a move that altered the trajectory of her life. New York gave her possibility. It also gave her more rejection. She never forgot being teased for her Southern accent, her frayed clothes, and her unusual voice. She was a girl searching for a name, for a face to call her own. Eartha's luck turned at the age of 16 when she joined the Katherine Dunham Company, one of the first African-American modern dance troupes to tour the world. Though she had no formal training, her body moved with precision and urgency. Dunham saw her potential and took her under her wing, offering both discipline and opportunity. She traveled with the company across South America, Europe, and Asia. These early tours opened her eyes to the broader world and revealed her gift for languages and mimicry. She could adapt to the cadence of any tongue, slide into a song in French, Portuguese, or Japanese with fluidity. Eartha, the girl who was once unwanted, was now turning heads in Parisian nightclubs and Istanbul theaters. Her solo career began in earnest when she performed at a club in Paris and was spotted by Orson Welles. He famously called her the most exciting woman in the world and cast her as Helen of Troy in his stage production of Dr. Faustus. From there, she carved her place among the elite. With her unmistakable purr and feline movement, she created a persona that was both seductive and theatrical, mysterious and sharp-edged. Her recordings in the 1950s, C'est si bon, I Want to Be Evil, Santa Baby, and Let's Do It, captivated audiences. She didn't sing so much as whisper, hiss, and seduce. Her phrasing was precise, calculated to draw listeners closer to make them lean in. She could sing about longing or mischief without changing tempo, maintaining control with every breath. Behind the alluring character Eartha projected on stage was a woman grappling with deep insecurity. Fame did not soothe her childhood scars. In interviews, she spoke of never feeling truly loved, of aching to belong but always being viewed as exotic or strange. Yet she played to the role society assigned her. She sharpened her accent, coiled her vowels. She made herself into a myth, knowing that it was the myth that sold. Her romantic relationships were few and guarded. Eartha married John MacDonald in 1960 and gave birth to her daughter Kit a year later. The marriage collapsed within a few years. Though she never remarried, her bond with her daughter was unshakable. Eartha raised Kit with fierce devotion, determined to give her the affection and security she herself had never known. Their connection became the emotional anchor in her otherwise unpredictable life. Professionally, the 1960s brought television roles and nightclub stardom. Her role as Catwoman on the 1967 Batman series added another layer to her persona, playful yet intimidating, outrageous yet refined. Her version of Catwoman was distinct from others before or after. She played it with menace and mystery, refusing to dilute the character's edge. Even in a show filled with camp, Eartha brought gravitas. In 1968, Eartha attended a White House luncheon hosted by Lady Bird Johnson. There, when asked about the Vietnam War, Eartha spoke with unfiltered honesty, expressing that the war was killing American youth and destroying inner cities. Her words were bold, raw, and full of grief. The backlash was immediate. She was blacklisted in the United States. Concert dates were canceled. TV appearances vanished. Eartha found herself pushed to the fringes once more, this time not because of where she came from, but because of what she dared to say. Undeterred, she moved abroad and spent the 1970s performing across Europe and Asia. She sang in cabarets, appeared in films, and never ceased creating. If America no longer had room for her voice, she would use it elsewhere. Eventually, time softened the edges of the controversy. Eartha was invited back to the States, where she made a triumphant return to Broadway in the 1978 musical Timbuktu. Her performance earned a Tony nomination and reignited interest in her talent. Younger generations rediscovered her recordings, drawn to the sultry lilt and unrepentant confidence. Eartha never softened with age. If anything, she became sharper, more defiant. Her live shows were electric, half music, half monologue. She could command a theater with a glance, make an entire audience laugh or hold its breath with a single sentence. In the 1990s and 2000s, she lent her voice to animated films and series, including the Emmy-winning role of Yzma in The Emperor's New Groove. Her performance was both hilarious and menacing, proving she had lost none of her bite. She published several autobiographies, each one more candid than the last. In them, she wrote of her upbringing, her heartbreaks, her triumphs, and her survival. She refused to play victim but made it clear that her wounds were real. Her strength was not in pretending the pain never happened, but in transmuting it into something unforgettable. Even into her 80s, Eartha Kitt kept performing. She toured the world, appearing in clubs and theaters, never lip-syncing, never coasting. Her daughter Kit often traveled with her, acting as manager, confidant, and companion. They remained inseparable. In 2006, Eartha was diagnosed with colon cancer. She kept the illness private for as long as she could, performing for as long as her body allowed. She never lost her voice. Near the end, her daughter recalled, Eartha could still sing perfectly in pitch, an eerie, almost unworldly preservation of tone. She never went quietly. She asked questions. She challenged doctors. She demanded music in her hospital room. On December 25, 2008, Eartha Kitt died in Weston, Connecticut, at her home. She was 81. The date itself, Christmas Day, felt surreal, almost theatrical, as if her curtain call had been carefully timed. She left this world as she had moved through it, dramatic, complicated, unforgettable. In her final moments, surrounded by family, she whispered songs under her breath. Her daughter held her hand as Eartha's breathing slowed. A storm passed outside. Her voice faded gently, not with a gasp, but with control, the way she had always demanded it be. Eartha Kitt's recordings remain available, her films still watched, her voice sampled by DJs and remixed into new forms. But her real legacy lies in her refusal to compromise. She never played small to soothe the world's discomfort. She gave audiences something strange, theatrical, and alive. She is remembered not because she followed the rules, but because she shattered them, always on her own terms.